The League and Arts Wisconsin are celebrating the third annual Creative Economy Week, May 12th through the 19th, 2018. I'm Gail Sumi from the League, and I had the privilege of sitting down with Elizabeth on May 11th to talk about the creative economy and her work in the city of Eau Claire.
So my name is Elizabeth Brodek. I am the Communications and Promotions Coordinator for Downtown Eau Claire, and I've been here for just 2 months tomorrow, both in the city and in the job. So Creative Economy Week is actually my first big event that I kind of get to do. I really started by pulling things that were already going on in the community. So it was open mics and wine and beverage tours and different readings and just different things like that. And then started by reaching out also to people who were involved last year to just kind of see if they would start, thinking about what they did then as well. So ended up kind of putting together a real kind of wide variety of people into a really cool team that helped us coordinate 24 events over the 8 days and covering 10 creative genres and over 50 makers and creatives involved just on the front-facing end of things. So that's not to say anything about like all of the artists that are, behind the scenes. But
so what does the creative economy mean to Eau Claire, Wisconsin?
It is
Wisconsin in general.
It is huge, especially in Eau Claire. I think that's why people come to Eau Claire a lot of times. Like you hear it referred to as a young Austin or a little Portland or something like that. And that is because of the creative economy. I mean, those things are referencing directly the music scene and the art scene, and now we have an emerging improv scene and a dance scene. And so it's really, I think that those things, that's the quality of life that people come to an area for. So whether we look at Eau Claire, which is a very concentrated, and I credit that largely to the university, the population size, just a mix of different things, but then Wisconsin in general, like that's a huge piece of what's making us a great, not only a great community in Eau Claire, but a great state overall.
What role does government play in creating a creative economy?
I think that government is at the base of everything. I think that it's hugely important to realize the local ordinances that can help or hinder creative economy things. So like in Wausau, the community I came from, they had just lifted a restriction on busking. So singing on the streets and sometimes asking for money alongside of that. And that is a huge thing. We wanted to see that, and we wanted to see that go on. So those small ordinances can make a big difference in what you see walking down the street. So I think it's important to be aware of what government can do to, like I said, help or hinder those different things. At the state level, it's obviously state legislation and things like that, like the advocates that you have as representatives for your community. If that's a priority to them, then I think that you're going to see a better quality of life coming from those areas.
If you had some advice for a small community, what would you tell them?
I would say definitely start looking in your backyard, and everyone has something. Even if it's the smallest thing. I know, for instance, Tigerton, which is a community of about 800 people, they do an apple fest every year, and that is a creative venture because it takes a lot of imagination to imagine how many things you can do with an apple. So it's small things like that. Everyone has something, and it can be a super random thing, or it can be something that everyone really loves and gets behind. But everyone's got something, and it just takes a little creativity sometimes to find that.
That's excellent ending. Thank you for bringing your creativity to Wisconsin.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks again to Elizabeth, and on behalf of the League and Arts Wisconsin, happy third annual Creative Economy Week.